it is our expectation, and I have said it, in evaluating, it is our expectation that we will get the support of the North. We are not afraid of the North at all in terms of support. We think that the North will only be concerned about the quality of the person we are bringing. Just like everybody, we are also concerned about the quality that the North will bring or the West will bring when it reaches them. As for the bridges, visible bridges we're building, people have an attitude towards the rest of Nigerians that it is a two-way process. I might as well turn the question the other way. What visible bridges are the Midwest and the other ones building towards Ndibu for us to be good neighbors, which we are? When the second Niger bridge comes, there will be no difference between the Midwest, the riverine areas, and the Igbo. And we note that the Midwest declared neutrality. Those of us who are old enough to have participated in the war know that the Midwest was not interested in any war with the East. We know that. And when the book comes out, you will see that the East really did not invade Midwest, as is the popular narrative. The Midwest was trying, the East was trying to end the war quickly by moving into Lagos and stopping Gawan in Lagos. That was the agreement between the East and the Banjo, while we gave him our 101 division. Otherwise, we had enough commanders. We were not invading. So we know we have a good relationship. We don't want to spoil it. The Midwest also should know that we are friends with them. We don't need to show it. We are brothers with other Nigerians. And I can tell you that the North is not going to stand in the way. You've had them. You've had Balarabe Musa, who is the conscience of the North. You've had him. What makes you think that the North will be standing in the way of the Igbo man for president? I think what has happened was that the Igbo man this time controlled himself and didn't rush into it. You know that PDP was actually heading towards a Kwame for presidency in 1999. It was obvious. It was last minute that the argument came that because of June 12th, every other person should stop. The only person who objected was the late Abubakar Remi. No other person objected. And that was why you found that when Kwame that lost in Jos, he made a statement. He didn't contest it. He said it's okay. And the next morning, Obasanjo went and offered him president of the Senate. So we don't expect this kind of rancor that, is it the South-South? The Igbo gave their son, Jonathan, bulk vote and didn't bother about it. The Igbo gave him bulk vote, didn't bother, no regrets about it. People are trying to say he gave us nothing. Did we go there to draw money from an ATM machine or contract? We gave him that because of good relationship and good neighborliness. And when we decided to give Atiku mass vote, which you saw we gave mass vote, is it then Atiku who would mobilize against him? Is it him who would mobilize? How many? There are many friends that the Igbo have in the north. So we are not expecting any that the north will say over their dead body that an Igbo shall be. So I think that in answering you, we don't really, we think that we have taken our relationship with the Midwest, both the Igbo speaking and non-Igbo, we take it for granted that there is no difference between
Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much, sir.
I think that's it.
Okay, yes, we thank you very much. We are about to round up now. But let's take the last two questions together, and then after that, no more questions, and down. We take the two questions together. Then Prof will now use it, please, to give us his final speech. From Ifeacho, please, are you ready now to unmute yourself? Briefly, quickly. And then Ifeanyi Maxwell, also get ready. We'll take the two questions together and then conclude.
Yes, thank you so much. Prof.
Yes,
my
please.
question, you have answered part of my question because the person who spoke before the last person asked exactly the question I wanted to ask. But there is something that I want to say here that I want you to tell us. Because if you ask me, most of the Igbos are not interested in Nigerian presidency. But there is a lot of mistrust between us and our brethren in the West, that even the North are saying that if the reasonable ones in the North are saying that even if they are going to zone the presidency, that it is supposed to be to the east, southeast. But to our greatest surprise, people from the West are smarting out saying that it is their turn, as if we don't belong to Nigeria. And example of what I'm saying is somebody like Tinubu and his cohorts. They want to take over from Buhari instead of aligning themselves with the Igbos and say, look, brothers, let us come together. And it is your turn to take this presidency because no Igbo man had become president in Nigeria. Why is there so much misgivings or mistrust between us and the Yorubas? Thank you.
We thank you very much. Let's also take the last two questions together. Ifeanyi Maxwell, are you still there? Ifeanyi? Okay, I don't think he's still there now. All right, please, Prof, if you can still now take the last question. We have kept you here too long, more than we would want to. Just take the last question and then you give us your final closing remarks.
You haven't kept me for too long. I said thank you for inviting me. I think I've had the last person. It is not our brothers, the Yorubas. I told you that we have a good working relationship with the authority structures in Yoruba land. Many of us are also well known to Tinubu. Many of us also have associated with him politically. We think that as 2023 approaches, it will be good politicking, and the Igbo will do good politicking as they strive for the presidency to reach out to everybody. But the Igbo are not afraid. I think everybody will know from 1967 that the Igbo are not afraid as a people. When they made up their minds to do something, they will do something. If they contest it, like I told you, they'll contest it because it's a DNA test. It comes out and then it tells you that either you are the father or you are not the father. None of it frightens or phases the Igbo man. But what it will do is that when we strive for that presidency, we will know those who want us, those who like us, those who don't like us, those who are saying in their mouths that they like us, but in their hearts they dislike us. So we will know. But if you don't try it, you won't know. People will be saying, it could have been you. Like I told you, the argument is still raging. But the argument that is gaining upper ground is, what have you got to fear? When it was time to let two Yoruba people run in 99 because of June 12th, the Igbo had no problem allowing that. If Tinubu, a known diehard Nadeko, which happened to be Shikanoden, decides that he is going to be the person who will stop the Igbo presidency, we will know. We will see that. And we're not afraid of that. So, please, let your heart not be troubled at all. There are three things that Igbos have. Who is going to run for them? What is he going to achieve for Nigeria? How is it going to be done? The pathway for it. And if I will repeat again, if he is the Igbo that shows, for example, that after he has been there, the Igbo will tell you, I told you that the people you thought were the problem in this country are actually the solution. Don't you see now that you have had the solution? Don't you see what has done? Don't you see that now that this particular education thing, number of children out of school, whether they're from Yobe or from Borno, it doesn't matter. The Igbo man would rather talk the same language with anybody from any part of the country. That's why he's found any part of the country. So I think that don't have fear. There will be people who will approach Tinubu. They will approach him. And I, speaking personally, I don't think there was a time that Ndi Igbo in Lagos made up their minds. They were going to support Tinubu to be governor, no matter what was thrown at him. So if he now decides that these same people who sat by him at his worst hour are the people, we will record it for him. So there's no problem.
It's been a very enlightening engagement, Prof. We thank you very much. It's almost 2 hours now. We planned this to be a 1 hour discussion, but even my own questions have not been exhausted. But I will hope that in the nearest future, we will have you again in our midst to explore some of the unanswered questions that the Nigerian children of my generation will still want those questions answered. Some of us have read those books, but it's also good to hear them from someone who was there and witnessed it all. So thank you very much. We are very, very happy to have you here. And we have been much.
Hello, Mr. Dan. Before you go, I would like to drop a few words, just a very little one.
Yes.
For our Prof. I hope you don't mind.
Yes.
Prof, actually, I would have also had a lot of questions because, but basically you've touched on most of the things that bothers our little minds. But the one area I would have loved to hear from you, but I'll wait for another opportunity because it's not on a federal level, rather on a state level, is the upcoming Anambra state governorship election. I know you played a very buoyant role during the last governorship election. I watched you speak on one occasion on one of the campaign trends. So when I have another opportunity, I would like to hear from you again because it's almost as good as said that the die is cast. Again, Nnewi indigenes are clamoring for governorship, just like the Igbos are clamoring for presidency in Nigeria. Some Nnewi people are saying that it is their time, that the Nnewi man has not been on that seat. So, but like I said, I wouldn't, I think this is not the day for it, but anytime I have another opportunity, I want to hear you speak on that. Until then, thank you very much, sir, for coming.
When the time comes, I'll talk to you. But you know, I come from the Nnewi royal family. I come from Nnewi royal family. I'm grandson of First Lord Nwosu. So don't worry when that time comes. But I'm a member of Board of Trustees of PDP. So I have ceased to be in Nnewi and Anambra. I've ceased to be Nigeria Board of Trustees. I'm now Board of Trustees in Nigeria. I will speak to you then.
All right, sir. Well, I will appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We thank you very much, Prof. Another question we are seeing here in the chat room is someone, Otumba is asking, what have you got to say about the agitators who want Yoruba Nation tomorrow? But we will not take all these questions now. Our time is up. Hopefully, when next we have you around, some of these questions will.
It's the same as I say. You can't. I can say, but I don't think Otumba will understand it. But I'll say it. You translate it for him. That if the book the bargain, you know, that just like we have IPOB, they have all those clamoring also for Duduwa. You understand? It just shows the disaffection in Nigeria and the imperative of restructuring and the urgency of restructuring. And that is something that should be done quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you very much, Prof. This has been a very engaging 2 hours. I'm sure my editors will have no problem with looking for a headline for this report. We have had so many sound bites. Restructuring is a settled matter. The restructuring